When I was a very young boy, it started with my dad started off making furniture, and from being a furniture maker and a craftsman, he just got involved in the very early days of the hi-fi industry when they were making radiograms, and he did the cabinetry for those. So we always had sound in the house. There was always some music playing, records. But when hi-fi started to take off in the sort of like the 60s, 70s, he started doing more and more, again, cabinets for some of the up-and-coming UK, British hi-fi companies. And from that, we developed an interest, and he started. Hi-fi was a hobby for many people back then. They make speakers, amplifiers, but yeah, we just loved it, and we'd sit in the front room with a pair of speakers, and when stereo came along, you'd have like Concorde taking off in your front room and the Flying Scotsman coming through. It was just an exciting time. So we started sound. The interest in music and sound was something we both enjoyed. And I was with him. I loved going to work with him at weekends. The cabinet works he worked at when I was at school. He'd go and working on some new jig to make some new piece of equipment, and I'd be out there in the factory on the cutting up bits of wood on the rotary on the saws. I mean, how I've got all my fingers, I don't know. So but we were just very close in the early days, and he evolved on. He got a few jobs working for companies making loudspeakers for some of the bigger companies of the time. And together we've been making these speakers. We decided to break away and develop our own little range of speakers through encouragement from friends and family. And also we had some people at the local hi-fi shop that we were close with, always in and out there. They heard some of our early designs and said, well, they're really good. We should try and turn that into a business. So we took the plunge. I kept my job on because it wouldn't maintain both of us in the first place. My dad gave up his job, and together we started developing in about 84. And my dad came up with the name Ruark, which is a variation on our names O'Rourke or Ruark. They both have Celtic origins, but we thought that Ruark, he felt, had a stronger sound than Rourke. And also we knew from experience that a lot of people, when they say Rourke, a lot of people say Rourke, and so Rourke Acoustics didn't sound quite as good as Ruark Acoustics. So we had that family connection with the name. And so in 85 we launched our first speaker called the Ruark Sabre, and shortly followed after by the broadsword. And that's where it all started. We got in our cars, we drove around and saw dealers around the country demonstrating the product. They liked what they heard, so they ordered a few pairs. So we come back. By then we got a little workshop locally in Rayleigh. We'd build the speakers during the week, and then go out and sell them and deliver them. We did everything, just the two of us to start with. It's belief in the products that we make. I think if it's good, people will come. So we've always believed if the products are good enough, people will talk about them, and we very much relied on that. Particularly in the early days, we relied on taking the products into our dealers, and for them to like them enough that when a customer walked in looking for a pair of speakers at a certain price, they say, "Oh, you should listen to these. These are really good." And so it was really word of mouth. And even today, I think, we are still a brand that has, I believe, our potential with the products we make now is massive. It's just getting more and more people to be aware of who we are and what we are and what we do. But I guess it's the thing as I've always said, we make products that we ourselves would like to own. So it's making products for ourselves. And if other people enjoy them, then that's fantastic. I think it's looking back at the, as I was saying earlier, looking at the early days, doing the hi-fi shows, where we started, taking our products out onto the market and showing them into the public for the first time, getting reaction from, and to get a thumbs up from customers is one of the best things. And beyond that, it was going in, particularly with the products we do now, we're seeing our products in like John Lewis and Harrods and places like that. Then you feel that you're in a household name. And as I said earlier, we've still got a long way to go from being a household name, but places like John Lewis and Harrods are brands that everyone knows. So to be there, to us, is a real, it shows that we're getting there. Now at Ruark, I guess we have about 16 core people here that are here full time, but really we're much bigger than that, because we have obviously like our PR company, we have people outside consult, that we use. I mean, we have Andy, our web designer, who does a fantastic job. He's independent, but we very much feel like he's part of the team. And we use a lot of people locally for our graphic design, so it's got that really nice. I mean, Southend, where we're based now, has quite a creative atmosphere, environment about it. There's lots of good people here, good music background as well. So everybody that works with us is very much part of the team. So really, from 16 people, you can probably double that. So we all feed off each other. So, but we're looking to expand that. But day to day, we have our northern area sales manager, southern area sales manager, Richard, so our sales director, David. There's obviously Neil, who's my co-director, who does the day-to-day. He looks after the day-to-day running of the business, which is good. I mean, that's one great good thing about business. I think that when Neil and I sort of work together, we have quite different. For me, it's all about the product. Neil's very much about the detail of running the company. So we don't really struggle on each other's toes. So he does insurance stuff and and ordering. It allows me to be the one who really dreams up the ideas, and then I work with Jan and Simon in bringing those ideas, getting them down on paper and playing around with the designs and bringing it through to a finished product. It's not about the money. It's not. I mean, I think I can say that for most of the people I know within our industry. Most of them, you would think that a lot of guys with electronics probably came out of, did some degree or something, came out of but a lot of them are just enthusiasts that had it as a hobby, and he taught themselves, and so it's that passion. So our industry is made up with hobbyists, really, people that believe they could do something better, which is where we came from as well. It wasn't, and the fact that we've, it's not money. I think like with most artists, be it a painter or a musician, it's not the money that drives them. Some are very fortunate. I always say, like Ed Sheeran, he never said, if he wasn't the multi-millionaire he was today, he'd probably still be just playing the guitar and in local clubs and still enjoying it, maybe even have an easier life rather than the pressure he has of stardom on him. But I think it's just having the, you've got to totally believe in what you do. And we could not, I could not, if I'm not happy with the product, we don't believe in the product, then we wouldn't launch it. We didn't believe it was good enough. If it's not good enough for us, then it's not good enough for our customers out there.